going to share with you what I believe to be the most interesting method for cooking beef tenderloin. I'm going to steam it. Now that may seem quite odd, but beef tenderloin is so tender by its nature, a real delicate steam bath will help to cook it evenly while helping to preserve that end-to-end moisture and fork tenderness that you come to expect from a good filet mignon or beef tenderloin medallion. But there's a problem when I steam these tenderloins, is that they come out looking very, very gray. And that's not wonderful. The flavor is fantastic, but the look isn't quite there. So I've come up with this incredible trick to then stain the beef tenderloin medallions in a really syrupy, thick reduction of port wine. And what you get is something that looks like it might have been roasted in the oven or have come right off the grill or come out of a pan. So let's make the recipe now. The first thing I like to do when I'm working with beef, lamb, pork, anything where moisture starts to purge to the surface is to use paper towels to damp off some of the moisture here. And then we're going to do this very interesting preparation. I like to do a garlic paste when I'm working with meats. So then we're going to go through and chop the garlic, and then what I do is I sprinkle the salt over the top of the garlic and give another couple of rounds of chop. Okay, then I've got all of this salt that acts as an incredible abrasive, and what I like to do now is come closer to the end of my board, and I like to mash the garlic with the side of the knife. And progressively, it's a little bit difficult at first, but what happens is the salt starts to break down the garlic, and you get these almost oily extraction taking place here. And I would argue that the flavor of the garlic is more complex, more robust. And then, of course, because you've exposed so much of the surface area, you're really getting your money's worth out of the garlic. So now you've got your reasonably dry beef tenderloin medallions and this garlic paste. I love using my fingers. Equally distribute the paste onto the 4 medallions and just gently massage. Okay, now that I have the beef tenderloin medallions rubbed with the garlic, I want to return back to my paper towel because we've got that salt with the garlic and it's going to extract more moisture off the beef tenderloin medallions. And so what I like to do is take the paper towel, put the medallions on the paper towel, and uncovered, put these in the refrigerator for about a half an hour. Okay, so we've let these cure in the refrigerator for 30 minutes and now we're ready to give them their steam bath. But when you're working with a bamboo steamer like this on top of a pot, you know, A, make sure it's secured, and B, when it comes time to open, make sure that you're opening away from yourself to keep yourself safe, okay? So we'll grab a square of parchment paper and we'll put that inside the steamer. Again, be careful. And then it wants to roll on you. In fact, I'll let you see it. It just rolls right up like that, right? That's okay, let it roll. And just hang on to it with your hand like that. And then put your beef tenderloin medallions in all 4 corners of the parchment. Okay, and then we're gonna cover this and let it steam for about 6 to 8 minutes or until your desired degree of doneness. If you're a well-done person, probably 12 to 14 minutes max. So, as promised, these are about the ugliest beef tenderloin medallions you've ever seen. They're gray, they're kind of watery wet, there's protein buildup on the parchment paper, but if I sliced in, it would be absolutely gloriously evenly pink throughout. So now it's time to stain the medallion. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw off some of this moisture with paper towels here. And so we have essentially a port wine reduction here. I'm going to put in a little bit of smoked paprika. And what does that do? That gives that little trick. Did this touch a grill? Was it in the oven under a broiler? Where does this hint of smoke come from? Well, it's coming from smoked paprika. And then I always like to add a little bit of lemon zest to support that fork tender. It's almost a peaceful dish, if that makes any sense at all. And so here I've got that lemon zest going into the stain, and I'll give it a bit of a stir. So I'm going to take that stain and I'm going to pour it into a pie plate here. I'm gonna take my beef tenderloin medallions. I'm just gonna kind of sauce them up here. And what you see already is that I've got some really cool trickery going on here. All right, so I'm gonna let these steep for about 5 minutes on each side while it wicks up all of this beautiful port wine reduction. And then after that's done, I'll slice it up and plate up for everybody. But right now I'm gonna clean up for a moment. So we're done here. Things have been steeping for a while now. In the book, there is a beautiful recipe for aioli. In this case, I'm adding a little bit of chopped Fresno chili and just stirring. And I'll take a small amount and do the old spoon drag. So you just drop a little dollop and drag. Now we'll slice. So I've got this beef tenderloin. Again, I want to be very delicate with it. This is easy to tear. And so what I want to do now is push through with my knife and slice. And now I can fan. I've got a perfect medium rare here, as you can see. If I pull that piece up, it's even end to end. It's absolutely fantastically tender. So here you have it, our port-stained beef medallions. You can find this recipe and many more in my book, Mad Delicious.